The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Saban Entertainment, and Subaraya Productions. Woo. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Tokucast for our Ultraman series of reviews, episode number 42, Mega Monster Battle, and Ultra Galaxy Legends the movie, and Ultraman Zero the movie, Super Deciding Fights the Belial Galactic Empire.
Or the Revenge of Belial for a much more... You know, I really can't say anything else about that movie. Let's get to the first one, though.
But to get to the first one.
That was a great movie.
Oh my god. Marcus and I just watched both of these.
Yeah.
We just finished both of them. Mega Monster Battle is one of, if not the best Toku movies I've ever seen.
I will agree with that.
It's great.
That was a great movie. I mean, an amazing movie. I didn't expect to like it that much. Because, like, when I go into Ultraman, I never end up expecting much because, you know, once again, we mostly end up having a Super Sentai and Kamen Rider background. But for that was such a good movie. I was just not expecting it to be that good.
Neither of us were.
And I'm just
right from the beginning. So the movie opens up and you have a red orb and a blue orb flying through space. They're chasing each other. They land on a planet. One turns into a monster. The other turns into Mebius.
Yes.
He's back.
Yes.
And he beats the crap out of the monster.
In a very amazing scene, by the way.
Yes, and then we are given a little bit of backstory, because this is the sequel to a show.
Yes.
That we have not watched. But it told us enough.
Yeah.
And the human characters from that show, most of the side characters are not in it that much, so you don't really we didn't get confused as to who was who.
Yeah. Although there was that one guy.
The one guy he hated.
Yeah. You'll pretty much figure out exactly which one I'm talking about. But we didn't end up getting to see, you know, usually in the other shows before this one, like, we end up seeing the Land of Light like we did in Mebius. Mm-hmm. We didn't get to see that much of it. And this one,
seeing the Ultra Planet in all of its glory, and you see there's a Coliseum where there's just hundreds of Ultras training to fight. And there's men, there's women, there's all, you know, ultras.
Red and blue.
Red, blue, all different shapes and sizes, and it's amazing.
It's good to see their, like, society and how it works.
Yeah.
And, you know, we end up getting some other scenes, like this monster is coming in with a giant staff, and he goes into the prison.
He goes to this giant cube prison floating in space, where the Ultramen keep their bad guys.
Or rather, just one in this case.
One in particular, and that is Ultraman Belial.
Yes.
Who is a scary-looking dude.
He's cool.
He's very good.
Very, very cool. And, you know, we see exactly where he gets his looks from. It's from his daddy.
Mm.
He looks like his daddy.
Mm.
But, yeah, then we end up getting, like, because we end up seeing a lot of the past Ultras after Mebius ends up going down, and, you know, basically just meeting all his Ultra brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Belial comes out. He ends up killing the guy who freed him.
He kills the guy who freed him, and it's awesome.
And he comes down and just beats that scene.
The scene where Belial he stages a one-man siege on the Ultra Planet, and it's amazing. It has amazing choreography. It's got stakes. It's got great action.
There's not a lot of special effects, which makes you just concentrate.
I mean, the backgrounds, of course, are all CGI.
But it's like, in the terms of the actual fighting.
But it's mostly him just, like, punching people. Yeah, you get a couple of beams fired here and there, but it's mostly people just punching each other.
And just fighting each other.
And when people get punched in this movie, you feel like it.
Yeah.
It really feels like a giant monster is punching another giant monster.
Like there are cracks in the floor and everything.
Yeah, because their planet is, like, made of glass.
Basically.
It's like what it looks like.
Yeah. And, you know, we end up getting, like, other scenes with the humans. Like, apparently they're on a cargo ship. They're not a fighter.
No, they're on a fighter, but they're not on a fighting mission.
Yeah.
They're out just
like they're basically on a scouting mission to basically find another planet. And they do.
Yeah.
And then they get attacked by a monster. And then we end up getting to see Ray and his whole thing where he can apparently, like, control monsters.
He basically functions the same way, I forget her name. From Mebius.
Yeah.
Who controlled...
It's basically like the function
Miklas.
of... I haven't watched Orb, but it's Jugless? Or Jug... It's Jug something. Y'all know what it is.
Juggles.
Juggles. But yeah, it basically just ends up functioning like that. It ends up functioning like the bad guy in Geed, where they end up summoning monsters. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's sort of where...
it's basically Pokemon, but with kaiju.
Yeah. And apparently, this is like Belial's backstory, or Belial's. This is his backstory, where he was a previous Ultra. He was going to go touch the light, but it's just like his personality and everything. And then he got sort of corrupted by the light. He got thrown out of basically the world of Ultra.
That scene where the evil force that corrupted him enters his body.
Yeah.
Freaking scary.
I hate possession things like that. That was creepy.
Oh boy.
But it's cool, and it's just like it gives him like the actual Belial look. Mm-hmm. And that's the main thing for it. It just looks so, it's really creepy.
It's really black and red. He's got those huge shoulders, and that's, his mouth is like stuck in the permanent smile. Like he's got the big eyes.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Getting to see all of that.
It's creepy. We also get to see how the Ultra planet was formed and like how the Ultras came to be.
And we get to see Mebius as actor.
Yes, we do. He's back. He's back.
In this entire movie, he's there.
In his human form. Which is cool.
I wasn't expecting that, like, at all. It was good to see him again. And, it's just good to see everybody interact. We got to see the original Ultraman's actor and the original Ultra 7 actor. Mm-hmm. It's good because I feel like Ultraman does very good at, like, keeping... I'm not going to say, like, tabs on his old actors, but keeping them in, like, a higher status. Because they usually only end up coming back from movies every once in a while, or, like, in the case of Mebius, they came back in that as well. Yeah. But it's just good to see them again. And I love seeing old actors return. You don't end up...
That's always great.
Yeah, you don't end up getting that a lot nowadays outside of Ultraman. It's like, you get like a...
It happens in Kamen Rider every now. Like, for the Kamen Rider Tyson, it happened,
like an occasional
Kamen Rider Ichigo came back.
Well, he's always back now. Well, he was on a thing right before Build appeared to show off Build.
Oh, wow.
Like his acting.
It's so cool, though.
Yeah, it's just...
It happens with Kamen Rider. It happens sometimes with Super Sentai.
Yeah.
The last time it really happened was Gokaiger.
And Go Busters.
Yeah, too.
Yeah. But it's... But... This movie just had so much good action. The first time we get to see Zero's in this movie. I really love the way that Zero looks, by the way.
Ultraman Zero, who is the son of Ultra 7.
Yeah. It's just interesting to see, how that works. We don't know who his mother is, so that's the thing. We end up finding out that Ultra Father, well, at least because just to us, you all probably know if you watch some other past Ultraman stuff, we end up finding out that his name is Ken.
Mm-hmm. Ken and Ray?
Yeah.
I think.
It's Mary or...
Mary, that was it.
Yeah, but it's
Ray's someone else.
It's good to see them. I think Ray is Taro.
No, Ray is the lead guy.
Oh, okay.
Who becomes Raymond. I was thinking of something else.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's just good to see like this movie and like the action is so good. It feels so
when
good.
Belial is doing his big siege in the beginning and he gets to the core that essentially powers Ultra.
He's fighting, I think, it's 3 other Ultras on the side of the building.
Yep.
Love that scene, by the way.
Yes.
It's just cool.
But then when the father of Ultra finally confronts him and starts to get the edge on him, but then he loses.
Ultra Mother just sits back. Also, we will have to mention the fact that Ultraman Taro is a badass. Because he's just like...
Because he's on the first... Because when he first breaks out, he brings like a squad with him.
Yeah.
To go and try and contain him, but he fails, but then he goes and he essentially contains the core, preventing complete destruction.
Because it's like, we had a scene with Mebius and Hikari fighting against Belial.
Yeah!
Oh my god!
We got to see them fighting side by side again, which was amazing, because Mebius, of course, is one of our favorite shows.
It's so good. But it's just like that whole scene. Mebius ends up getting thrown off planet. That's the only reason he's in the rest of this movie. Mm-hmm. Ultra 7 and the original Ultraman basically end up blocking after Belial ends up taking the thing and the entire planet ends up getting turned to ice. Mm-hmm. They end up blocking that. That's the only way that they end up getting away. And then we end up flashing to another planet where Ultraman Leo and his younger brother are, along with Ultra King.
Which I didn't know was a thing before this.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Ultra King is broken. That actually gets explained.
You have the father... Is he above the father?
Father of Ultra.
He's above that. Mm-hmm. Wow.
He has a beard, remember?
Yeah, he does. He has a beard and a crown. And he is voiced by a former Japanese prime minister.
Yes. Cool.
Junichiro Koizumi.
And then it's just like that whole scene with, Leo and the new Ultraman and Ultraman Zero fighting it's just good to see them like actually really train like that. Not to mention like some of the action stuff in this movie is like when you're close up, a lot of the action is moving a lot quicker, and then when they move away because when they do that they're in space.
It's good with distance.
Yeah, it's like it slows down and shows like how space is taking like effect on them if you were looking at it from our eyes, but if you're looking at it from them, everything's going so quickly. The way that they're fighting, it's like there's no real lapse in time in the way that the punches and kicks are connecting and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The action in this movie is amazing.
Yes.
And that really ends up showing...
We keep bringing it up, but it's so good.
And then you end up getting a whole scene of the monster graveyard.
We see the monster graveyard again, but this time with a much higher budget. And Belial pretty much resurrects everyone in it, creating an army of monsters.
And then we end up getting this amazing scene where it's 7-0... it's 7, Mebius, and Ultraman.
The original Ultraman.
All fighting against these monsters along with Ray and his Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And then we end up getting to see his form.
His form is his Raymond form.
Yes.
Which is his... Because he's half human, half alien.
Yeah.
This is his alien form. This suit...
It's great.
Is one of the greatest suits I've ever seen.
It's such a good suit.
It's so good.
It's so cool. Oh. And then Ultraman Zero comes in and just like, I'm just going to go ahead and fight Belial. He kicks the shit out of Belial. And then Belial gets thrown in the lava and just like, you haven't even seen my final
That wasn't even my final form. His final form, by the way,
is a combination of all the monsters.
It's literally all the monsters combined into one giant monster, and it's freaky, but it's really cool.
And then, have these moments where all the other Ultramans are fighting against it, along with what is his Astra?
Yeah,
Ultraman Astra.
Leo's brother.
His younger twin brother. And then all fighting against him. Like, there's this one moment where I think it's the original Ultraman is like about to fire a beam, and a monster comes out of the Belial final form
and just grabs him.
I'm like, nope.
And then there's a scene earlier with the original Ultraman where they're fighting all the monsters, and the original Ultraman is just like, I'm gonna wrestle all of you to death. I'm gonna suplex you, I'm gonna flip you over, I'm gonna throw you, and you're all gonna explode. And it's amazing.
So cool. This movie did great in its story. It's like, we're coming off of a show, but I didn't feel lost, and that's the main thing.
The movie moves at such a quick pace. And
in a good way.
It moves at such a quick pace. There are a lot of characters, but it's edited in such a way that it doesn't feel like you're being dragged down by one part of the plot or the other.
Yeah.
It's a quick 96 minutes, but it moves really quickly.
And I love how
it feels great.
End up setting up Zero as sort of like the antithesis to Belial, because a lot of the things that Belial did to get him kicked out, Zero was about to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they basically just end up sending him on a training mission with Leo. And I love it. It's just like, I love the things they end up doing with Zero, because Zero doesn't appear a lot in this movie, but you end up getting enough for him that, you're not missing anything from his actual character.
He doesn't really show up as Zero fighting until the last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
So long story short, we absolutely recommend Mega Monster Battle, Ultra Galaxy Legends, the movie. It is absolutely worth checking out. If you haven't seen it,
you don't have to watch.
Treat yourself. It's
Mega
so
Monster
good.
Battle before that.
Yeah, because we didn't, and we pretty much got the gist of what was going on. So
it's such a good movie. It's just like, this is how I feel. Like, you can have movies like this where there's some talking between characters and things like that, and they honestly do end up having that in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't end up taking precedence over everything else that's actually happening. And a lot of that time, it's like you have to end up fighting Belial because he's pure evil. However,
and now we move on to the second one, which is
The Revenge of Belial.
Ultraman Zero, the movie Super Deciding Fights the Belial Galactic Empire, or Ultraman Zero, the Revenge of Belial. You know what we said about the last movie?
Take all of that.
Reverse it.
Take all of that away.
Reverse everything that we just said.
And we won't mention this because I'm sure somebody will bring it up. The kid actor is the guy who goes on to play, the young Captain Marvelous. And, of course, the main person.
He's Geed now.
He's Geed. So he's been in Toku for quite some time.
Yep.
His acting ability has gotten better as a Geed. However, in this movie, it was shitastic.
It's not so much that his acting was bad, it's just that the character
himself was terrible.
He was an annoying character. He doesn't really do anything except shout the entire movie.
What is that? Aneza!
Pretty much.
And then there's a whole thing with that princess.
Well, getting into the plot of this movie.
What plot?
Well, remember the last movie we talked about, it opens up and you immediately know, okay, a bad guy got broken out of prison. He's going to destroy stuff if we don't stop him. Boom. You know what's going on. This one, we open up with a lady on a planet we don't know, running from people we don't know. Well, somebody we do know. It's Belial. It's Belial. He has a cape now, and he is no longer a threat.
He doesn't do anything.
He destroys things, but he pretty much spends the whole movie just sitting on his ass doing nothing.
He became Bad Bowser.
Mm-hmm. This movie broke us.
I hate this. I hate this movie. This movie is awful. Like, it's legitimately just bland, boring, and just unneeded. And you basically just end up taking, like, the coolness that Zero had and replacing it.
We just finished watching it, and I am struggling for the life of me to remember anything about it.
It's not good.
It's so bland.
None of it's good. It's just boring. It feels
also, this one's only 4 minutes longer than the other one, and it feels like it's 3 hours. Because it's so slow.
It's just like nothing ends up happening. There are so many just random jokes thrown in and things like that. It basically just ends up taking everything that was good in the first movie and just shits on it. And that's terrible. I hate this movie. It's weird going from one of the best Toku movies we've ever seen to one of the worst. This is right up there with Kamen Rider Tyson.
Really?
And Cho Superhero Tyson.
Boy.
Don't go watch that one. Save yourself. It doesn't have any relevancy to anything. The only thing that ends up being relevant, and it's only ends up being relevant because relevant to Geed, are the Dark Clopses that are based on Zero. That ends up showing up again in Geed.
One of the things that made Zero work as a character in the previous film, we see him training for most of it, and then in the end, he's a broken character. Zero is a broken character.
Yeah.
But you needed somebody broken because that was the only person who was strong enough to beat Belial. In this one, we are in a universe we don't know, following characters we don't care about. We have Run and Now. It's two brothers. One of them dies. Run dies, the older one, and Zero possesses him as his human host. And we're just kind of following them as they're running around through the galaxy trying to stop Belial. And that's pretty much it. They have the princess in tow, Princess Esmeralda.
It was also boring.
Yeah, she's the lady from the beginning.
I mean, we end up getting some other things like Glenfire. Glenfire's cool.
Yes.
Mirror Man exists. And
There was because we should mention that a lot of the other characters and antagonists, they're based off of other Super Riot shows, like Mirror Man and other things.
And John Bot, who was originally a ship.
Yep.
And it's just like...
Yeah, Fireman, Mirror Man, and Jumbo Ace. And... this movie broke us.
This movie killed me. It's like you're sitting here just looking at my spirit, because at this point, I hated that movie. It's not often that I can say that, but it's just like watching this, I was literally just partially off of my couch the entire time because it was so hard to keep my eyes open from the boringness. And even the final fight wasn't good.
The final fight goes on for way too long.
It does. Basically, Belial ends up turning into some sort of Godzilla-esque.
He turns into Space Godzilla.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm going to destroy this thing by breathing on it. Can't stop me. They do.
The weird thing is the fact that they end up using Ultraman Noah in this, and it's just like,
yeah.
Noah hasn't been really seen since Nexus, but you gotta remember Noah...
Nexus is also an alternate universe.
Yeah.
But we're also in an alternate universe, so is this the one that he's from?
No, Noah can basically just end up traveling between universes. These are things that he can do.
Yeah.
But
Nexus was a dimension hopper, so...
Yeah. This movie was shit. Like, it made me...
We apologizes for these awkward silences, but yeah.
It made
Not much
me
else to say.
so angry to watch this.
Yep.
It probably wouldn't be nearly as bad if we didn't just watch Mega Movie Monster Battle. Here we are.
Just that's another thing. It's forgettable. As I said, we just watched this movie. I can barely remember a thing about it. I remember some of the action. I remember the finale. Like, the in-between bits and the character moments, like, I am struggling to keep them in my head. I cannot remember a thing.
It didn't matter at the end of the day. And that's the thing that made it suck. And God, it sucked. And, the more we harp on this, the worse it'll just be. Just go ahead.
That being said, Mega Movie Monster Battle is one of the greatest movies ever. If you're talking about Toku movies, it's absolutely fantastic.
It's a great movie.
Watch it.
It's so good. The Revenge of Belial, you can go ahead and flush that down the toilet. It's not worth it. However, you know what is worth it?
Deca Ranger.
Deca Ranger, and the entire month we're dedicating to that entire show and the various movies that come along with it. So, just to give you a breakdown of how that schedule is going to go, it's going to be Deca Ranger first, in comparison, the team-up movie in the 10 years after, and then we'll end up doing Girls in Trouble and the Gavin versus Deca Ranger movie. Very excited for Deca Ranger month. That'll be 4 weeks of straight Deca Ranger, nothing but the Deca Ranger, all of the Deca Ranger. And I'm just, we'll do some other Deca Ranger themed things in it. Our favorite moments from Deca Ranger, things like that. Another couple of Toku talks on various subjects. Maybe not Deca Ranger, maybe Deca Ranger. We'll never know until we get there. But, yeah, Deca Ranger month. And I'm so excited because I don't know how we're going to number it. It will end up being 43, maybe 0.2, 0.6. I don't know how to do it. But we'll see how we're end up numbering that one. But I'm so excited for that month. Deca Ranger is one of my favorite Sentai. And it'll just be so exciting to actually do that one. Mm-hmm. And, there are going to be a couple of series that we're going to end up having to dedicate months to. It's Deca Ranger, of course.
Gaim's another,
because of the various movies that came out with that one. Dino, because of the various movies that came out with that one. W, because of the various movies that came out with that one. And we're going to end up having to do it for X8, too.
Oh, really?
Because of the various movies that are coming out for that one.
A lot of X8 movies.
But yeah, tell us what you think of Mega Movie Monster Battle in the comments below. Tell us your hatred for this Revenge of Belial in the comments below. But yeah, that's the end of this one. I need a drink. Bye, everybody.